Hi there, my name is Lars Sørensen and you're watching this small video we've created for you over at the Computing Conference 2019 in London. And we're speaking to our delegates, to our professors, PhD students, writers of papers that got accepted, just to give you an idea of the exciting stuff that's going on here. We're going to talk to Professor Gabriela Ziegler from the Davenport University in the United States. Welcome to the conference. Great to have you with us for this moment. Knowledge management system, designing a virtual community of practice for higher education. So, before we dive into this, what would be like the common way knowledge is shared right now that inspired you to start thinking, and can we not change this?
Yeah, what inspired me was the contrary, that it was not shared. We at the university and faculty at large, we create large amounts of information all the time. For example, we create our syllabi, we prepare our classes, we have all our material for the class, but we do it alone. Maybe we collaborate with one another faculty, but we can have, or at least in my institution, and research supports this too, you have 3 faculty teaching the same class, and they have 3 different preparations.
Programs. Oh, yeah.
So the inspiration was, how can a class be better? And I'm sure it will be better without research now supported. But when I was thinking about this, I'm sure that if we go to we create a system that these 3 or 4 or 5 faculty that teach the same class can share their experience, their best practices, and their research, the class will be much better.
Sounds like a very valid thought and also a very valid challenge, because we're producing so much more data, preparation, and education with each other. And so the setup for the research that led to this paper, because it also seems like a challenging thing to grasp and to take on to.
Exactly. I'm also, at the university, I'm the department chair of the computer science department. So for me, it was a challenge to see how can we do classes better. So I decided to do an experiment. When I started doing my research, I found out that the case study is mainly the methods of research when you're doing community of practices or knowledge management system or creation of knowledge. I said, well, I'm going to do something that is quantitative. I'm going to do an experiment. And that's what I did. I created a virtual community of practice that a community is a group of people that have a common interest, and they come together to share the experiences. And I said, let's do it virtually. Let's just meet. And the experiment has 2 groups, one experimental group and one control group, and then one participated, one didn't participate. We have 2 surveys, and I measure that.
What were the findings? And obviously, we only have a short time now. You would love to tell us everything you've discovered and found out. But just to give us a hint of what you found out in your research.
Yeah, what I found out, I have like 3 main contributions. The first one is to give researchers a source and organizations on how to create a virtual community of practice, because I research a lot of best practices, so I base my experiment on that. And the second one is in leadership, because my experience and the research supports that too, that leadership is a critical when you develop a community of practice and when you do collaboration on knowledge management systems.
So if you would say that then you have discovered that there is this system, like the virtual community of practice, could I call it a system or a methodology?
It's a tool.
But then it depends still on the leadership.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. If the leader is not there, you can set up everything. It can be very structured. The people can be willing to participate. But if there is no leadership that can lead and can help people guide their thoughts and also support their intellectual property and all that type of things, there is no success.
Then for your experiment, obviously you targeted your groups to work with. Do you have an idea of just how receptive people would be to accept this way of working? if we're talking about Davenport University?
Yes, my faculty, or not mine, they were not totally mine, it was all the university, but the faculty was very willing to participate, and they did participate. The level of participation and knowledge seeking and knowledge contribution was really the result of the leadership. So they were willing to participate, but if you don't have a strong leader, the participation is lost. Because there is a question, example, there is a question open. I am looking something in networking communications, or network security. Who is the expert? And there is no an answer and a reply to that, or who can help me with that, and there is no reply on that, and that's simple. That's the minimum, level of leadership. Then the community of practice is so nurtured, is no healthy.
And did the experimental group give you feedback on what it did for them? Were their experiences also?
Well, I didn't measure that, and the only thing I measured was if they participated, if they went to the community to seek knowledge or to contribute knowledge. But the findings, the statistical findings, give me a lot of data to do recommendations for future research, and that was very important.
So it's to be continued.
To be continued, that's
more
right.
to come.
Exactly.
For those of the people watching now who want to know more about your paper, it's being published by our partner Springer, so you can find it back and check it out entirely if you want to know how to create a virtual community of practice for your higher educational purposes. For now, we would like to thank you, Professor Gabriela Ziegler, for being with us. Did you like this video? Then please don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your network. We're all about sharing and connecting over at our conferences here. And please consider joining us for one of our conferences spread throughout the year on varied locations and dates. Check out our website, Sci Conferences, and hopefully we'll meet you there in person soon.